community. And while providing career guidance, I realized that it's not sufficient just giving the guidance. We have to prepare them. Then I took interest in human behavior and I started studying various aspects of psychology. And I was influenced by some of the think tank of the present day, some of the scholars. I was very fortunate to get an opportunity to interact with these people. So whatever the knowledge I gathered, so I feel that I should share with others, and who are in need of that, they may get benefited. That's how I'm going on with that. And welcome all. Thank you that all of you are joined. And I was told that most of you are from medical professionals. And indeed, I take it's an honor that I'll be interacting with you on a subject which is very close to your profession. I may not be getting much into the technical aspects of all these things, and just as a layman, we'll be discussing about what are the emotions and how they affect our day-to-day behaviors, how do they impact our relations, and ultimately our what we call as well-being. Dr. Pratibha, I'll be sharing my, just let me check out, I'll share the screen.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Share screen. After the video, there is share screen. Please click on that, sir. Share screen. Arrow is there, no?
Yeah, that I have done. Then next, do.
Then entire screen. You can please click on that and share your entire screen.
Now,
and then entire.
This slide is there now.
No, it's not yet seen. Is it a single page?
It's a PPT.
PPT, okay. What you can open it and minimize first.
Yeah, I open it. I minimize that.
Minimize. No, now click share screen, sir. That arrow is there, no? Third logo. Laptop ali iddiralla?
Howdu.
Next to video, there is one video icon. There is a.
No, that I have clicked.
Then entire screen you can click. Entire screen. Mail mood bartadala. Entire screen.
Entire screen ide.
Click on entire screen. Now click on the PPT where you have minimized. Not visible still.
Should I put it on slideshow mode?
Yes. But we are not able to see the.
Yes.
No problem. You can take your time, sir.
Now?
Not yet. Is anybody seeing? My internet is fine.
No, sir, need to share the screen.
Share entire. Click on entire screen, sir. Share screen. First share screen. First share screen. Click madi. Click that arrow. Click on that arrow, sir.
Is it visible now?
Now it's clear.
Yeah.
Now it's clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this should be sufficient, I believe.
Yes, this is sufficient.
Because I don't have idea how I look, how that appears to you.
Okay.
Am I also visible?
You are also visible. Yes, you are also visible. Screen is also visible.
There in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, welcome all of you once again. And today, as I told, we'll be discussing about emotions. The moment we talk about emotions, what are the things that comes to our mind? Actually, emotion is a very broad term. It involves a lot of feelings, sentiments, and how do we feel, how our moods and everything. So emotions, there are a lot of things like, love, affection, happiness, sorrow, hate, helplessness, impatience. And in our tradition, we call them as 6 enemies. That is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsara. All these are emotions, right?
Slides are not there now.
Yeah, now I have minimized it now.
Okay.
So every time I have to stop this thing, right now, when I want to come back.
Yes, correct.
Please bear with me. I have to get used to it.
No problem.
So, emotions, in our tradition, we call them as 6 enemies, Arishadvarga anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಂಪರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. And some of this term I keep on pondering about that. Really, are they our enemies? That sometimes I keep on pondering, and we need to develop some kind of different perspective on this. What I perceive is that these are the, as Dr. Pratibha was mentioning in the introductory talk, that these are happens with everybody. These are the common state, and all these feelings do come inside our mind, and there is no point in waging war against them. You know, ಹಂಗಾಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ you have to go to Himalaya and do tapas ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ. And for common people, we feel, we get angry, and we feel jealous about people, and a lot of other things, we get irritated. It's not only our state of mind, even we are also throughout our life, we are influenced by, what we call significantly other people in our milieu. A lot of other people who are around us, we are influenced by their behavior also. So we develop a certain set of things, I like this, I don't like this, he should have done that, he should not have done, that person should not have done this. So many, there will be, impacts on our mind. But one thing I would like to, and at the beginning, I would like to bring to all of you is that, our human mind, human brain is wonderful. It has got a lot of capacity, abilities. Just all of us, we look back to our life, all of us, we have gone through a lot of such, ups and downs, and emotional, outbreaks, and sometimes we get cheesed off and all those things, and sometimes we thought that everything has been lost, and every if you sincerely go back and review the way we have been behaving throughout this journey, some point of time, we were all able to cope up with these things and come out of that. What it shows is, the important thing is that our mind has in its has that kind of stuff to handle all these things. So instead of waging war against these emotions, why this thing comes and I should not feel angry, or I should not, these things should not come to my mind, these are all quite naturally human feelings. As I told you, we feel jealous about certain things. So jealousy is there in all relations. You name any relations, even while driving also, if somebody overtakes us, we can't bear with that, and we pump the accelerator, in the road, and all those things. The road rages are very common, and everywhere we do that, and even of my friend, he succeeds something, he gets something more than that, he becomes successful. Formality, we congratulate them, and we feel very happy, and say, dost aaj party mai dunga, and all, we do that. But after that guy has gone somewhere, that ಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಚೂಸ್ತದೆ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿದಾನು ಅವನು. These things are quite natural, and a lot of desires will come inside the mind, what we call as karma. Even at this age, if I see a beautiful lady, I would like to see her. There's nothing wrong in that, because it's a human thing. The moment you think that something is bad is happening, then the problem starts. When when I see that is natural, and it happens with everyone, just because we don't exchange all these views with everybody, it doesn't mean that people don't have these kind of feelings. All of us, we have these kind of feelings, and we do have the ability to cope up with that. So today my session is, I'm trying to focus on that ability that is inside us, to cope up with this situation. We have to activate that. So before we get into these aspects, let us just go back and try to understand how this evolved, how this concept of emotional management evolved. So if we, is the screen available, am I right?
Yes.
So it all happened in, some beginning point was in 1986, as you are all, medical professionals, you must have studied somewhere in your, during your education, the concept of well-being. This was, large scale first discussed in 1986 in Ottawa. There's in medical phrase, it is popularly known as Ottawa Charter or Ottawa Declaration. Where the one important aspect, they tried to define the well-being and what is health, and they concluded that it is not only the physical health that matters. The health and well-being of human beings involves so many other aspects. So what they define as a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. This is most important thing we have to underline, because well-being is not absence of disease. Well-being also includes so many other things like, as mentioned, physical, mental, and social well-being. So it promoted the idea that health is created and lived in the communities where people work, in our ambience, in surroundings, the environment where we live. That well-being is created there. And it leads to understanding that health promotion extends beyond the health sector to include broader societal actions. It's not only the physical well-beingness, it's not only giving medicines to the infections or whatever the problems the body is having. We have to correct the imbalance in the societal aspects also. And that the one thing which was most underlined and most emphasized in the Ottawa Declaration was development of personal skills. That skills which are inherent as a human being, we are born with so many skills. We have to activate them. So they defined as personal skills. Later on, these personal skills, then it evolved, and the different parameters came into that, and we will discuss that later. We'll come to that about that later. Before that, we dwell into that. I would like to tell a couple of incidents. There was an Hungarian magician. He was very famous for escape art. He used to escape. Houdini. The Houdini in the world of magic is very famous. This Houdini, he was an escape artist, illusionist, and he acted in some movies also. There is a story, a very interesting story linked to him. The Houdini used to give a lot of these kind of escape shows, magic shows. And in one place, he was giving that performance on magic show. The best thing is he had the ability. To come out of any locks. The show, what was that? His hands used to be cuffed, his legs used to be cuffed, and he was put inside a box, and the box used to be chained and locked, and they used to throw that lock in a pond, that box inside a pond. And after a couple of minutes, people used to see Houdini used to come swimming out from the pond. And Kaisa was magic, it was amazing. People were amazed how he can escape. Of course, he had a lot of tricks and other things. But there was a jailer, jail warden was watching this magic show. And ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಹೌದಿನಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ऐसा कोई ताला दुनिया में बना नहीं है जिसको मैं तोड़ सकता हूँ. I can open any locks. He used to boast. You give me any lock, I can open. Of course, he was skilled also. And this jail warden challenges him. If you think that you're such an expert fellow, okay, you'll do one thing. I will lock you inside one of our cells. अपने जेल में तुझे बंद कर लेता हूँ. And you escape from that. Then I'll agree to ustad. And Houdini agrees. And he was blindfolded, and he was taken, and he takes up the challenge publicly. And the public were eagerly waiting. And the jail was very famous. It had a very tight security, and it had a state-of-the-art locks and all those things. And he was blindfolded. Kannig batte katti avನಿಗೆ jailal karkondu hogtare. Karkondu hogi he was locked, and before leaving him, they unfold his kannig kattid battena bichi door ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. Now your time starts now. So he gives him a time frame. ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ you have to come out of this. Your time starts now. And then they say, if you're not able to come out of that, there will be a ring is there, switch is there. You just press the switch, the bell will ring, and will come and open the door. Then he says, aise naubat to nahi aayegi. I can escape from any kind of locks. You go, main aapke piche aa jaunga, na band bidtini, mendindane bartini. So okay, fine. And he was locked inside, and ಅವರು ಬಾಗಿಲು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. And after they leave, he takes out all his instruments and takes his skills and try to open that lock. And 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and he was not able to open that lock. First time in his life, he comes across a lock which was not able to open. After struggling it for 15-20 minutes, then he is left with no choice, and he says, "Yeah, तो हार मानना पड़ेगा." Then with all this thing, humility, he accepts defeat and presses the bell that Kholdoyar open the door. And and they open the door. While opening the door, that he realizes, actually, what has happened is they hadn't locked the door. Just they pushed the door and go. The lock was already open. And you cannot open a lock which is already open. Actually, the jailer didn't put a lock to the door. He had put that lock to his mind. How did he thought that the door was locked? So he was trying to open that lock which was already open, and he was not able to open it. Had he just, a bagalna tirigisi eಳ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿತ್ತು. But he didn't realize that it was in his mindset that it was locked. And but lock was inside his mind. The lock was already open. So it's many times it happens with a lot of us. We put a lot of inhibition in ourselves. We think that it is not my cup of tea. We delimit ourselves. This is one example. And there was another interesting thing. Those who are in the field of statistics or computer science, there was a great scholar, George Danzig. He is known as father of modern statistics, and he has given a lot of contribution in computer programming. He was a pioneer in that. And I think, if I remember correctly, in Berkeley University, he was pursuing his PhD when he was a student. He was already married at that time, and he enrolls for a PhD program there. And his professor, I think his name was Newman or something, he was a kind of a very eccentric guy, a very short-tempered guy, but very wise professor. And he wanted to do research under him, and he enrolls there, he goes there. And professor was taking a class, and due to some problem, one day he enters into the class, late to the class. And the professor gets cheesed off. This guy comes from the back door and silently sits into the class, and he gives a dirty look at him. And after a couple of minutes, he says that today's class is over. And he tells all the students present there, the 2 equations I have given you, that is the assignment for you. And I want all of you to submit your assignment by next week, next Friday. You have to submit the assignments. And everybody, they just go out of the class, and George Danzig keeps wondering what is happening there. Because hardly 2 minutes he enters the class, this professor gets angry on him and leaves the classroom. And just he looks at the board, and there are 2 equations were written on the board, and he copies those 2 equations and goes home and starts working on that. He was not able to make any head and tail out of that. He was not able to solve. He was a very brilliant chap, by the way. He was very brilliant, outstanding. But he was not able to make any sense out of those equations. And this was such a difficult, his equation has given. Then he goes to library, references, and everything he does, and he still remains clueless. And the deadline comes, he was not able to submit the assignment, and the professor again gets angry, and he says, "Sir, it's really tough, sir." Then he says, "You don't come to the class regularly, that's why you are not able to understand." The normal thing, the teacher scold. He starts scolding, and then he humbly takes it and goes back. And he starts working on that. He puts everything day and night. For next 10, 12 days, he works on that. And that solution goes beyond 200, nearly more than 200 pages. And then ultimately, after a couple of weeks, he was able to solve those 2 equations, and takes up all the papers and goes to professor's room and says, "Professor asks, what is this?" He says, "Sir, assignment, sir." He sees the heap of papers, 250 pages. And so, "What is this?" He says, "Sir, I had already told you, sir, it was such a difficult assignment you had given, and it ran like this. I can't help it." Again, the professor gives a dirty look at him. He said, "Okay, leave it. I'll see it later." So he also forgets, and he says, "Bach gaya." Professor Lelia, then he goes back home, and he also forgets about that. And after 8, 10 days, one evening when he was sitting, having dinner with his wife, somebody bangs the door. Generally, in the Western countries, you get irritated when people come unannounced, and it was raining outside. And he opens the door, he sees his professor was standing in the door. totally drenched in water, rain, and he removes his raincoat, and just he barges inside the house. And George was looking at him, what is going on? The professor comes inside and takes out the heap of pages which he had submitted as assignment and throws it on the table and asks, "You stupid fellow, do you know what you have done?" Then he says that is the assignment you had asked. But he says, "Do you have any idea what you have done?" No, sir, those two equations you had given for assignment, I solved it. Then professor sits down, he pulls down and says, "Beto, do you know, actually these were not the equations I had given for assignment. Those two equations are different. You stupid fellow, you came late to the class. You didn't note down that. That day I had written two equations on the board and I was telling the students that till this date, these two equations remain unsolved in the world of mathematics and statistics. Nobody is ever able to find a solution for these two equations. And you have solved these two equations, man." And the professor was so happy. And George was stunned. You know, and then after some time he says, "Then so how about my PhD? Sir, there's koi PhD which is whatever you have done, just to wrap it and you submit it as thesis, your PhD is granted." Well, these two incidents, friends. One is about Houdini. He was not able to open that lock. He had all the skills, all the talent, but he was not able to open the lock. And this guy, he too was talented, had all the skills. He could solve the equation. Because nobody told him that these two equations are unsolved. No one ever was able to solve these two questions. See, when you look into these two examples, then you will get an idea about amazing nature of human brain. It's not only the talent, it is not only the hard work. This is something else in the mind which works out to bring the best in us. So we should understand that what is that? Then when we are able to understand these things, then we'll be able to manage a lot of other things which are happening in our around. So that is how we have to develop that self-concept. So a lot of things come inside this. So when we follow these two things, then the people started studying. A lot of, it started happening at that time. And these two were just an example. And many such, studies take place. Sorry. I have to toggle it every now and then. Please bear with me.
Right.
Yeah. The screen is available, visible?
Yes, it's visible.
This is George Danzig's story. So when we look back into see this, when we look at the progress that we human beings have made since the time we came out of the Stone Age. Earlier years, it was called as, necessity is mother of invention. But nowadays, what has happened? We have invented everything which is what we call a necessity. Now, what we are trying to putting efforts on that, it is for our more comfortable life. So that's why today we see that comfort is the mother of invention. Because man has surpassed the stage of inventing for his necessities. Now our effort is more on ease of life and well-being, comfort, and all those things. So if we look back how this progress happened, there was a interesting study in the internet I found. If you look at the graph of this progress, this graph is visible, right? Since the evolution of human being, and you take from some 20 lakh years, from here till date, this study is up to 2000, year 2000, right? 25 years back story, this is what I'm narrating now. Things might have changed very further also now. If you look at the progress the man has made since his birth, Homo sapien birth, evolution on the earth to 2000 AD, approximately from 20 lakh years. And if you look at the graph of the progress, see, if you see this chart, the halfway, it's come somewhere near 1900. So the growth of wisdom is from 20 lakh years back to 2000 AD. Whatever the invention was made till 1990, half of that has been done in the later 100 years. Now you can understand the dimension of the progress we have made. The 50% of the progress what human being made was after 1900 years. There are a lot of things we call in history, Renaissance period and all other things. Things started moving very fast, what we call as paradigm shift. The things are changing so fast that earlier it was a new thing used to come once in 100 years, and then it came once in a decade. Now it is told that every 18 to 20 days a new technology is coming. Paradigm is shifting so fast. So how this human being, he was so almost sleeping for nearly 20 lakh years, suddenly woke up after in the past 100 years. So many things, the wisdom shot. And again, from 1900 to 2000, if you see the graph, the progress made in the 100 years from 1900 year to 2000, if you see the progress made, the halfway mark somewhere falls around 1990. It means that the one past 10 years, 50% of the progress happened in the last 10 years. Now we can deduce a very interesting phenomena from this. How fast the human development is taking place. Why I am narrating is that there is I'm going to tell you. We should understand how this emotional intelligence evolved. We were talking about that. This is one aspect, the progress from 20 lakh years from 1990 and 1990 to 2000 and add 2000 to 2025. So many things have happened now. Even artificial intelligence has entered our field. And Dr. Pradeep, if I have to say, it is with our age group, men, people like us who are born in mid 50s and 60s. Whatever new thing is happening in our lifetime only.
Yes.
But by the time we get used to one technology, something else is cropping up. Yeah? In our childhood, the transistor was something huge thing for us. The present day generation will not understand the amount of stress we are going through, because everything new is tried upon us. And the moment we feel comfortable, I got used to this, I have learned this technology, suddenly something else pops up. Right from those radio time to these transistors and all those things, now we are now learning to use ChatGPT and all the AI tools. Also now we are getting used to those things. So every time we are making a lot of changes in our lifestyle. So this is taking a toll on us. That's one thing. And another aspect, well, there is something, I'll take you to some other story now. This is about the progress you have made. Now, let's talk about intelligence. So in 1900s, the talk of the town was IQ. People used to talk a lot about intelligence quotient. It all started in early 1900. There was a French psychologist called Alfred Binet. The French government, they were introducing new policy in education, and they wanted to know how to evolve after the intervention of their education policies, how much it has brought changes in the development of children. So they asked Alfred Binet to develop certain tool to measure intelligence. And Binet, with help of his colleagues, he developed a concept which is now popularly known as intelligence quotient. He developed certain kind of tools through which they started measuring intelligence of children. So before the education intervention, what was the level of intelligence? After the intervention, what happened? And that IQ came into play, and this IQ becomes so popular. And you name it, everybody were talking about IQ and IQ and IQ. And everything was based on intelligence of the individual. And later, when the First World War broke out, the army adopted this IQ test for the recruitment. In emergency recruitment, and all people from all over Europe and other side, the people were lining up for enrollment, and they did not have much time to subject them to all recruitment processes and measure their abilities. And those days, the education system was not so stabilized as now, because there are a lot of universities and colleges and degrees and all those things. In 1900, it was not that, and there are two sets of people: one people who knew English, and other set of people who did not know English. So now testing them for recruiting into the army was a big challenge. Then what these army authorities they did, they used this IQ system. They demonstrated IQ test. They used to call it the IQ alpha test and beta test. These tests they administered for the people who knew English and for the non-English people. And based on the intelligence quotient scores they scored, they used to give the responsibilities. Those who had high IQ, they were made officers, and those who were having lesser IQ, they were taken as soldiers and other menial jobs and like that. And they found that this system of recruitment was very effective. And then, after the First World War was over, American industry adopted this IQ testing system for recruitment to their industries. And now who started all these competitive examination. Now you know whom to blame. Now this is the guy who started all those things. So this starts on functioning, and when the American industry started prospering, from 1900, early 19 onwards, until 1970, things went on in a good way. Then there came a time, everything becomes stagnant. And there was a lot of disturbance in the American society also. And you must have heard about all the drug abuses and all those things, hippie culture. People were trying to escape from stress. And a lot of things started happening in the society. Then people at the helm of the affair, they realized, yeah, this is not only the IQ, intelligence, there is something else to that. There is something else to that which matters for human performance and human well-being. Then they started to study what that could be. And a lot of experiments were done on animals first. A lot of psychiatrists and psychologists, and especially often the Freudian psychological theory developed. A lot of things started happening in a faster rate, and a lot of experiments were done on animals. There was an interesting experiment on animals. They were conducting on rats. They put the rats in two different cages. It is cage A and cage B. There were two cages, and these rats were put into two different cages. And one cage B had a small window outlet. These cages were made of metal wires, and one set of rats were in cage A, and another set was in cage B. And daily at a fixed time, they used to pass a mild electrical current into the cage. The moment the electricity used to pass through the cage, the rats naturally they used to get that electrical shock, and it was not to kill them, but it used to create a lot of pain for them. So all the rats tried to escape. They started jumping around, trying to escape, and the rats in the cage A realized that there is no way to escape from that. But in the cage B, while jumping around, suddenly they discovered that there is one outlet is there. So the moment the electricity was passed, they learned a lesson. The moment the electricity was passed, I can escape through this window. But of course, they used to catch them and again bring back them to the cage. This happened after this repeatedly. This is how you must have studied in the psychology classes about the learning theories, the Bandura's social learning theories, the repeated experiences we start learning. So the rats also learn that. Based on the repeated experiences, they learn lessons that the rats in the cage B, they learn that if the electricity is passing, I can escape through this window. But interesting thing happened in the cage A, where there was no outlet, and the rats in cage A, after a few days, they realized that ये सब बेकार की चीज है, ಯಾಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮೈ ನೋವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂದಾಡಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So better that let us face this. So the moment the electricity was passed, they used to sit and they used to shiver. They knew that after some time it will pass away. So they used to bear that pain and sit quiet. But whereas the lesson which was learned by the cage B was that the moment the electricity, they used to escape. After this learning happened, what the scientists did, they took all the rats in cage A and mixed with the rats in the cage B. Now, the current was passed. Those who were there from beginning in the cage B, all those rats, as usual, they behaved as per the learning which has happened, that what they have learned, they escaped from the outlet. But these guests who had come from cage A, even though they saw other rats escaping, but they still sat there. They behaved as per their learning in the previous cage. Even the other cages were escaping, other rats were escaping, they started shivering. They sat there only. None of the rats made any attempt to escape. it was quite interesting how the learning happens. Both the, mind you, both the rats, both the group of rats, they had the same abilities. But the ability was triggered, another the ability was inhibited because of the experiences. So many such experiments are interesting experiments happen, and what all the animal experiments are there, then some of the psychologists try to have that anthropological application of these findings. And one such psychologist was Seligman. Seligman, he proposed it based on these findings. He brought out a theory called learned helplessness. It is called a learned helplessness. What it showcases that, that helplessness is learned. Rudisikunda asahayakate. That we have learned it through our past experience. We come to a conclusion, this is not my cup of tea. We start putting those inhibitions that it is not possible, though we have the abilities. So this is something amazing how the mind works, Though it has everything, all the abilities inside us, but something else is inhibiting. So this led to thinking about the other factors which inhibit. For example, I'm showing you a picture on the screen. Is it visible?
Visible.
Yeah. The moment I will not be interacting with all of you. The moment we see this picture, what is the first thing that comes to our mind?
I think you can unmute and answer. Sir is asking a question. Can you repeat?
You see the picture. What is the first thing that comes to our mind?
Sadness.
Depressed.
Most of us, the moment we see this picture, most of us will become psychiatrists or psychologists now.
Yeah, she's thinking negativity. She's not finding any positive things.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, I'll continue with that because that interaction is not much.
Pakistan president area.
Most of us think, the moment I see this girl is depressed, she's having anxiety. No, you can your audio. You may please unmute your audio.
Dr. Arati, can you mute yourself? Dr. Arati? Arati, please mute. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So moment we see this picture, most of us, we get something idea in your mind that something must be happening. Some people say she's depressed, something bad has happened, she's sad, she's heartbroken, she has failed in something. And a lot of us people, we think about all these negative aspects, something bad has gone. But we all know that, it's someone from you, if one of you say that, her degree results have been announced and she has scored highest marks in the university and she has got the gold medal and she's so happy. That's why she's sitting like that. If someone says that, is it possible or not? We all know that. Some people, when we are very happy, also we start crying. That is also an emotion. Happiness also causes us to cry, and there are instances some people die out of heart attack also. They get killed. Happiness also sometimes kills them. All of us, we know that something good happens also, and we must have seen in a lot of sports also. In 2011 when India won the Cricket World Cup, suppose you were not watching the match, or you were somewhere outside, and you return home and just want to see what is happening in the match. And the moment you switch on the TV, you saw that everybody is crying. Harbhajan is crying, Sachin Tendulkar is crying, Yuvraj Singh is crying. The moment you see them, all of them are crying, then you think, India lost again, but actually they have won. Same thing happened to Maria Sharapova also when she came back from injury and won the French Open tennis. She literally banged her racket on the court and started crying like a baby. If you have seen only that part, you think that she might have lost, but it is out of happiness. So when we all know that, out of happiness also sometimes we can sit like this, but why still only the negative things are coming into my mind? This is the question I would like to focus you on that. Why is that we always think that something bad has happened? Why means there is some slang called a GIGO. In computer training, they teach you garbage in, garbage out. No? If you empty a garbage box, what is going to come out of that? Garbage is going to come out of that. Suppose if you have put some toffees inside the garbage box, if you empty that garbage, the toffees will come. If you put some ladus is going to come back. Whatever you put inside the garbage box, they is coming out. Garbage in, garbage out. Similarly, this computer, whatever programming I do, whatever the command I prompt, that's only get displayed here. Computer will not display on its own something. Whatever we put inside it, that only gets displayed. Similarly, my dear friends, human mind, garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you keep on putting in our mind, it comes out of our words and in our behavior. And mind you, my dear friends, all behavior is communication. With our every behavior, we are sending message to our surroundings, and people will understand by our behavior. Nobody has got a power to enter our brain and understand what I'm thinking. They will judge me based on my communication and my behaviors. And whatever I put inside my mind, that also is going to come out. Some people, they're famous is their Freudian slip, slip of the tongue. बाई तप्पी ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಗಲ್ತಿ से बोल दिया नहीं कोई गलती से नहीं होता है ಬಾಯಿ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾತು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಿದ್ದೇ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ suppose in a dinner party or something you're having a glass of juice and roaming around and somebody just hits you, what is going to fall out of that glass? The coffee is going to spill over, or tea is going to spill over, or juice is going to spill over. Obviously, juice is going to spill outside. Why? Because you have put juice inside there. So whatever there inside, that is only going. Similarly, my dear friends, whenever in the life something happens, it gives us a shock. It hits us. Then whatever there inside our mind only is going to come out. So we should be very careful about our inputs. Garbage in, garbage out. These are the things, these are the things which play in, handling our emotions. Because these emotions are not something imported or something which have come from outside. They are there already inside. Whatever there inside, they only come out. And when these things come, the first thing hit is relations. Though the beautiful it is said in Hindi, जब सोच में मोच आती है, तो हर रिश्ते में खरोच आती है. The most impact happens in human relations. Friends, they're all social animals. Relations are very important for us. We have got strength and ability to sustain all kind of pains. Even we made it an accident, अगर टांग भी टूट जाती है, हार्ट टूट जाती है, कुछ भी टूट जाते हैं ना, we can sustain that pain. But my dear friends, जब रिश्ता जब टूटती है ना, तो दर्द होता है. When relations break, it's very painful. And why the relations break? Because the input which is there in our mind, plays havoc. We are not able to handle these emotions properly. जब सोच में मोच आती है, when our thinking gets derailed, a lot of trouble starts happening. We will not be able to perform to our optimum, and our relations suffer, our performance suffers, our career suffers, our well-being, and that has got the impact on our well-being. We are all most of you are from health professionals, that mind is also part of our body, and whatever happens to our mind, it has effect on our body. That's what we call as psychosomatic disorders. And most of the things in the modern day, in the urban life and all this we are suffering, most of them are psychosomatic disorders. Only you call it hypertension or diabetes or say acidity, and most of these things, and eating disorders, they are all because that our mind is not working in a proper, there is something problem in our lifestyle. Based on this is one Seligman's, what he called as learned helplessness. Now, why I'm showing these things is, I'm suggesting some readings, because in 2 hours, I cannot be able to explain everything about that. So I want to make you enthused, make you interested in going further into these things. And there's one breakthrough came in 1970 when Eric Berne put forward his theory called a transactional analysis. And it is now, even today, TA is extensively used in psychotherapy. And he proposed that theory, and there was another book which came as Games People Play. The title itself is very catching. How in the relations we start playing, how our feelings, our thinkings, the impact of relations. This is another interesting reading, Games People Play. So this transactional analysis, it became very popular in US. Then came a book called I Am Okay. Another book by I Am Okay, You Are Okay. This is based on transactional analysis, and based on that, he proposes 4 life positions. Based on transactional analysis. When a baby is born, just I'm giving you a very crude, example. When a baby is born, and the baby thinks that मैं तो एक छोटा बच्चा हूँ, and I'm a small baby, and I can't do anything on my own. Always I need other people to help me. And look at this, my parents and the people, they're so kind, they're so nice, they help me, they feed me, they put me to sleep. They're so nice, but I'm helpless. So when the baby is formed, they come with this first life position that I am not okay, but you are okay. And the most, I hope you understand this. I am not okay, but you are okay. A majority of people in this, we still continue in this position. We think that something is wrong with me. I'm not okay. You are okay. That happened in the early childhood. But suppose in another scenario, if the baby is not given proper care, the baby thinks, it may be thinking, I don't know how true it is. Just it's a hypothetical I'm saying. The baby might think, at this age, I'm supposed to be like this. I'm a small baby and I'm not able to do. I can't take care of myself. But you are grown-up adults, you are supposed to take care. But why you are not doing your duty? Then the baby comes to a life position, it says that I am okay, but you are not okay. You are not doing your job properly. So this is something problematic. These are the people who always go on complaining in their life, and they'll be never happy. They always find fault with others. They always have problem in handling relations, and because they always think the whole world is against them. That मैं तो बेचारा हूँ, मैं तो ये हूँ, ये लोग मेरे को, and they blame everything on others. But for whatever happens, they say that because of this, I couldn't do this. Because my boss is not unreasonable, that's why I did that. My father was very short-tempered fellow. He put pressure on me, that's why I could not perform. Everything they keep on blaming on others. They become blame-prone, and ultimately they won't be happy. And another life position which comes, the baby might be thinking, okay, I am not okay. It's some unwanted baby which doesn't get child care. It is it's always there. Then that state is very dangerous. They think I am not okay and you are also not okay. These are the set of the people. They grow with criminal mentality. They think I am also not okay. You are also not okay. So I will not leave you. वैसे तो मैं तो पहले से बदनाम हूं, मैं तेरे को भी नहीं छोड़ूंगा, तेरे साथ लेके मैं डूबूंगा. So these are the people who become criminals in the society. They create a lot of problems in society. The violence and all those things, drug addictions, everything, they root from this life position that I am not okay, you are not okay. Ultimately, the idea is that all these 3 life positions, one or the other time, we all go through this. Very interestingly, the other day I was mentioning, if I remember, to Dr. Pratibha, in world of psychology, people are not able to still define what is normal behavior and what are abnormal behavior, because normal and abnormal, it changes from social, cultural, different backgrounds. We all go through all these kind of things in our lives. There's one position when we think I'm not okay, you are okay, and sometimes we think that I am okay, you are not okay, and sometimes we may get the feeling I'm also not okay, you are also not okay. But when that crosses the threshold, then the problem happens. So we have got some stuff inside us which has brought us to this level. We have to use that. When you use it properly, when we will learn to handle our emotions and whatever is happening in our mind in a proper way, then we will reach to this 4th stage, what is called as I am okay, you are okay. We all should, we should try to grow to that level. Yeah, I am also good, and you are also good. When that feeling comes, we can live. Our well-being is well-structured and safely protected. This is what the outcome of transactional analysis. Then comes in 1991, based on these findings, Daniel Goleman, he brings out the concept. What we are talking today is about emotional intelligence. That emotional intelligence in 1990s, when this book came, and transactional analysis in 70s, it changed a lot of thinking in the corporate sector, and everywhere they started, using these tools to measure human performance levels and all those things. When they started using these things, then now you can correlate to the progress graph which I had shown you earlier. The progress shot from 1990s, because the world started thinking in different way. It is not only the intelligence, it is something else, and ultimately they zeroed on this emotional well-being, emotional intelligence. So this, you can read this book also, Daniel Goleman's book. He proposed this wonderful concept called emotional intelligence, and now the world gives emphasis more on emotional well-being. It's not only the cognitive intelligence which is important. Intelligence is important, but it is not being intelligent is not sufficient, but we should be emotionally intelligent also. That's the term is called as emotional quotient. That's why we say if the driving force of intelligence in 20th century business has been IQ, then according to growing evidence in the dawning of the 21st century, it will be the EQ and related forms of practical and creative intelligence. This is going to take now, and that is what is now is getting into artificial intelligence also. How that human brain has evolved to that level is that when they learn to handle the emotions, the human performance increases and we can live comfortably. So what is this emotional intelligence? It's basically, emotional intelligence has got four aspects. One is my emotions. The second is your emotions. So I should be able to understand and manage my emotions, and I should be able to understand and manage your emotions, because we live together. So emotional intelligence is the ability to know and manage oneself, along with an awareness and ability to manage one's relationship with others. So there are basically 5 domains in emotional intelligence. The one is what Daniel Goleman defined 5 domains of EQ. First thing, as I told you, knowing your emotions, number 1. Number 2 is managing your own emotions. Third is self-motivation. Nobody is going to come, my dear friends. कोई नहीं आने वाला है. We have to motivate ourselves. Don't expect that somebody is going to come. Nobody is going to come. I am my own happiness. That motivation has to come from within. I want to go to heaven. ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಸೆ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಸ್ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? What I should do to go to heaven? ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ, ಪುಣ್ಯದ ಕೆಲಸ, doing all the good work will still remain in the earth only. If I have to enter into the heaven, I have to die. कन्नड़ದಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾದೆ ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಸ್ವತಃ ಸತ್ರನೇ ಸ್ವರ್ಗ ಅಂತ. अगर मुझे स्वर्ग जाना है तो मुझे खुद मरना है, मुझे ही मरना है. What that says that if I have to achieve something in life, or if I have to be happy in life, whatever there, इस आदमी को खुश रहने के लिए जो कुछ भी जरूरत है मुझे खुद करना है, कोई नहीं आने वाला है. When we realize that, when we start having that self-motivation, motivation, it comes from within, then life becomes easy. So this is one of the important component of emotional quotient. That is, to repeat, knowing our own emotions and how to manage our own emotions, because emotions are there. Kama, krodha, mada, moha, lobha, matsara, everything is coming inside us. They will enter us. अगर धूल आता है तो खिड़की बंद करेगा तो हवा भी नहीं आएगा, रोशनी भी नहीं आएगी. धूल बरತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಬಾಗಿಲು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಬೆಳಕು ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಗಾಳಿನೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಗಾಳಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಿಟಕಿ ತೆಗೆದು ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಧೂಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ we have to keep our mind open. When we keep our mind open to gather knowledge from all the sides, what our Veda says, to get the knowledge from all the sides, we have to keep our mind open. Once we keep our mind open, all other things also come inside us. Just like you go to the internet or into social media, everything, a lot of unwanted things pops up there. That starts saying, click here, click here, click here. The moment you click, you will be dragged into a different world. But you should have the wisdom, which site you have to enter and which site you should not enter. When you have that wisdom, the social media will be less harmful. Will not have any problem with us. When we lose that wisdom, then we get addicted, because that's how the advertising world is working. They will drag you to the different world. That's how. So we have to know how to manage our emotions. And fourth thing is recognizing and understanding other people's emotions, because other people are also influencing us. So I should develop the ability to understand other people's emotions, and I should know how to handle other people's emotion also. And that is most important for leadership responsibilities. That is most important for parents. That's most important in marital relationships. understanding each other, managing each other emotions, because none of us are constant. We are not like throughout the life, we won't be like that. We keep on changing, our priorities change, our thinking changes, our even sometimes value system also changes. That also changes. We have to adapt to so many things. So instead of waging a war against that, instead of trying to restrict or constrain that, we should know how to handle them. Then life becomes easy. So these all together, that's what is called as emotional quotient. So today I will take you, I'll try to draw your attention 4 important aspects of emotional intelligence. As I told, emotional self-awareness, number 1. Second is empathy. Third is assertive behavior and cognitions. Self-awareness. How much we know about ourselves, right? When we say we know so many things about others, when you stand in front of the mirror, if I'm asked to write something about myself, how much I can write? If I given an assignment to write something about Abdul Kalam or Mahatma Gandhi, you can write books on that. But start writing about yourself becomes very difficult. Khud ki tasveer banao to jana, making a self-portrait is very difficult thing, because just I lightly I tell you, since from jab se hosh sambhala ya tiruvake bandaginda ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸರ್ತಿ ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Every time we see a mirror, we just want to see how I look. So ಇಷ್ಟು ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ ನನಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. I am so curious to know. And when I see any photos and everything, the moment I pinch it and try to see my photo, how do I look? So when I say how is that? I'm still, there's a lot of things to know about myself. So we need to invest a lot of time in understanding ourselves. We should know what our strength, what our weakness, what our opportunities, what our threat. The constant assessment should happen. But only acquiring, academic knowledge or technical expertise is not going to help ourselves. The knowledge has to come from within. DVG ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತೆಳೆದ ಮಣಿಯಂತೆ, ಚಿತ್ತದಳು ಮೂಡಿದರಿವು ತರುತೆಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ. ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ what are the bookish knowledge we gain? ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತೆಳೆದ ಮಣಿಯಂತೆ. What are the knowledge we gain through the books? It is like a shining jewel on the crown. ರಾಜ ಕಿರೀಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಳಫಳ ಹೊಳೆಯೋ ವಜ್ರ ಇರ್ತದೆ. It looks so beautiful, but you are not supposed to touch it. ಕೊಹಿನೂರ್ ಡೈಮಂಡ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದದ್ದು, ನಮ್ದದ್ದು ಹೌದು. Where it is there in London. You ದೂರದಿಂದ ನೋಡಿ ನಮ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, but you are not supposed to touch it. It's only beautiful to look at. Similarly, the degrees we accumulate, it looks so nice in front of our name. BSc, MSc, PhD, PG, DCA, PGDM. It looks so nice in our profile and our biodata, everything. But please believe me, friends. Please believe me. I have seen people who have got double PhD, but when I see the way they behave, I feel ashamed to call them as educated people, because their behavior will be something different. And I have come across so many people, they are not much got any degrees or learned, but the wisdom, the kind of wisdom they have, the moment we listen to them, we feel of touching their feet. It is not the only the bookish knowledge is going to help. There's something else. ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತೆಳೆದ ಮಣಿಯಂತೆ, ಚಿತ್ತದಳು ಮೂಡಿದರಿವು ತರುತೆಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ. The knowledge which comes from within, ಚಿತ್ತದಳು ಮೂಡಿದರಿವು, the knowledge which comes from within. It is like ತರುತೆಳೆದ ಪುಷ್ಪ. It is a beautiful flower blooming on a plant. When you see a beautiful flower, you enjoy the beauty of the flower, or you may some ladies may pluck it and wear it on their thing, or you can present a bouquet or a flower to invite a guest or felicitate somebody, or an young man can give a red rose to a beautiful lady and express his love or propose, "I love you." And then youngsters, they marry exchanging garlands, and even someone read to a dead body they respect, and even you use flowers to worship God. Why this flower has got so much of importance? Because it has come from within the plant. It has come from the inside the plant. It's not that just somebody has put a plastic flower on the plant. It is something come from within. That's why it has got so much of value. Plastic flowers, so it may be very beautiful, but it is mostly used for decoration. During the Ganapati festival, you can only use these plastic flowers to decorate the pandal, but nobody worship God with plastic flowers, because to worship you want natural flowers. Why? Because it has come from within the plant. Similarly, the knowledge which comes from inside us, it is valued. That is going to take our lead our life for a that will define our well-being. ಪುಸ್ತಕದಿ ದೊರೆತರಿವು ಮಸ್ತಕದಿ ತಳದ ಮಣಿಯಂತೆ ಚಿತ್ತದಳು ಮೂಡಿದರಿವು ತರುತಳದ ಪುಷ್ಪ ವಸ್ತು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಅಂತ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಿತನದಿಂದಲ್ಲ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. ಅಂತರ್ನಿರೀಕ್ಷಣೆ, introspection. That introspection, we have to develop the skill of questioning ourselves. Right from the childhood, we are being questioning others. We keep on questioning others. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಇವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಇವ್ರ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. We keep on questioning other people. But when we develop the habit of question, what I'm doing, is it right? That's what we call as introspection. When we get into the mode of introspection, a lot of things, and we become aware about ourselves. That creation of the self-awareness becomes very important in developing in emotional well-being and our health also. So that's the main domain of this self-awareness. So when it comes to self-awareness, it also comes to self-esteem and self-respect. So let me ask you, how many of us morning we get up and look into the mirror and say, I love you, just like this kid. How many of us have this? The moment we see in the mirror, we fall in love with ourselves. Do you love it? Do you love yourself? Really? How much you love yourself? We go miles to explain how much I love another person. But have we ever asked how much I love myself? Do I respect myself? Before we fall in love with others, we should first start loving ourselves. We should learn to respect ourselves. That's the first step to develop the self-awareness. It is not arrogance, it is ahankar. It's not ahankar. It is self-respect. See, no one is complete. So I'm also not complete. Nobody is perfect. I'm also not perfect. Everybody do mistakes in their life. I also made the mistake, but I have the ability to correct a mistake. Just because I made a mistake doesn't mean that I'm a useless person. It is okay. I have got my own drawbacks, but focus on the things what I have. We keep on complaining, I don't have this, I don't have this. Instead, focus on things what I have. That gives a different perspective about self. When we develop that self-awareness and the self-respect, things become easy. It is not, justifying yourself for everything what you that amounts to arrogance. No, I'm not talking about arrogance. It is about analyzing sincerely and accepting my weaknesses also. Yes, there are some drawbacks in me, but it doesn't mean that I'm a useless person. No, I'm good. I might have failed in the certain approaches earlier, but it's not because of lack of ability. It was a lack of something else. I did not put my all efforts into that. ನನಗೆ ಬೈಕ್ ಹೊಡ್ಯಕ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ? ಕಲ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ? ಐ ನಾಟ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್. Similarly, certain things I was not able to crack because I did not put performance. It doesn't mean that I'm a useless fellow. I'm a good person. I'm a valuable person. Respect ourselves, and God has given me a wonderful ability, the ability to learn. The human being are bestowed with a wonderful ability, the ability to learn. If we use that ability, we can surge ahead. We have not used this ability to the optimum. That's why we may be falling behind, but it's not that lack of ability. We have not used it. When we start pursuing in this way, our perspective changes and we develop a self concept. And this has been very nicely explained by two behavioral scientists, Joe Luft and Harry Ingham. And taking their first few alphabets of both the names, they developed a model called Johari window. If you study this Johari window, there's a lot of literature available on the internet. You please go and study that. As I told you, today I'm making you aware of certain aspects in understanding self-emotions. I'm not going to train you or explain everything. It's not possible. But I'm giving you certain tools. This another tool is you have to study this Johari window. Johari window has got 4 components. One, you can call it as A, B, C, and D. A is arena, B is blind, C is closed, D is dark. So imaginary, every human being, every human brain has got 4 components. 4 squares. That's 4 windows. A, B, C, D. Arena, blind, closed, and dark. What arena has? Arena. What is the meaning of arena? It's an open ground, playground. It's an open ground. So I have got in the arena, there are things which are known to self. ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಇಂಥ ವಿಷಯ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, and known to others. This window contains the stuff which are known to me and known to others. You know, I talk a lot. This I also know. By this time, you also become aware. This is something. It is in the arena. It is an open field. What I do and what I say and everything, we keep it in an open box. So I am also aware about these things, and people also know that I am like this. So this it's known to self and known to others are kept in window A. Now comes the window B. Window B has got certain things. This is known to others, but not known to self. There are certain things in me, which I am not aware, but people know about that. And many times we heard our friends and our people, no, yaar, tu kar sakta, yaar, you can do it. No, yaar, I can't do this. Because I am not, fully satisfied about that. Well, I do have the stuff. People think that I do have it. These things, people know. They judge by our behavior and our performance, but we judge by our own cognitions and our feelings. When we think, then we are blind about that abilities. It is like that Hanuman story you might have heard, in mythology. When Hanuman was born, he was a special child. It was bestowed with special powers. Vara kottu avನಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, and a little monkey had all extra special powers. And you might have heard the story, he thinks that the sun was a fruit and he jumped to eat the sun and all those things. And using his special powers, the young monkey, it used to trouble all the saints and sages, and ಅವರು ಯಜ್ಞ ಯಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. And one rishi got angry upon these mischiefs of Hanuman, and he cursed him that you will lose all your special powers. And that after that day, Hanuman becomes an ordinary monkey. Then his mother feels very bad. Then she begs that sage, ಋಷಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾಳೆ, ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವರ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹನುಮಂತನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದ ವರಪುತ್ರ ಅವನು, ಅದೇನೋ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಡುಗ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಶಾಪ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್. Then the rishi says, no, I haven't cursed him, but I can give you a solution. He will grow without the knowledge that his special powers are going to come back to him, but he will grow without the knowledge that he has got the special powers. He will become aware only when somebody reminds him of that. And later on, you must have heard the story when Rama came and the Ravana took Sita, and somebody was to jump from this to Lanka, and everybody were pondering and who can go jump that distance. And Hanuman was yaar sadhya. He had the ability to jump, but he was not aware. Then Jambuvanta comes and he starts pumping Hanuman. You have got such a great fellow, this fellow. He starts boosting his abilities. Then suddenly Hanuman becomes aware of his strength, and next Ramayana you have studied. So many of us, we have got certain things, we are not aware, people know. It is stored in the window called blind. And next is closed. This is something very interesting, I know that I am this kind of a person, but I don't reveal it to others. This goes very difficult for others to understand. Hypocrites, and hiding things from others. There are a lot of things, I do, but I don't reveal it. I don't show it to others. I play innocent, but I know that I'm a mischief. I know what my mind is doing. But I put a different picture outside, and people won't know what is cooking inside me. And inside there are a lot of things will be happening in me. These things are called the C window is closed. And fourth window is dark. This dark window is that I too not aware about certain things, and people also don't know. In some time in the life, suddenly something comes out. Then मैं ऐसा कर सकता था. Then somebody will come. Yeah, I never expected that you will be doing this thing. मुझे भी कहाँ पता था यार मैं ये कर सकता हूँ. Even I was also not aware that I could do these things. This is dark. This is a small structure of this Johari window. Interesting part is that our endeavor, our progress, our learning, our development should so happen that we should widen this window, arena, that we have to stuff our mind with the things what I am also aware, and people should also I should help people also become aware about what all the things I have inside me. This is what is called as transparent personality. When I reach that stage, then I will not be affected by the way people behave, because I know what kind of a person, and they also know what kind of person. ಅದೇ must have heard ಅವ್ರು ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್, ಅವ್ರು ನಡೀತದೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಓಪನ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ರೀ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. So people compliment it and things become very easy for me when I develop that kind of transparent relation. It becomes easy for me to understand what kind of a person I am. It becomes easy for others also to understand what kind of a person. And our aim should be towards this, that we should try to develop this transparent personality. So please go through this model of Johari window. A lot of literature is available. Then you'll be able to understand how to achieve that. And other aspect of emotional intelligence is empathy. There's a common dialogue from right from childhood. Many times we have said one thing, वो सब ठीक है यार, अगर मेरे पोजीशन पे होते तो तुम क्या कर सकते थे, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ನನ್ನ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ರೆ ನೀನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. See, this is an important thing. You have got some problem, you go to your boss asking for a leave. And then the boss jumps from the chair. You sit on my chair and run the office. ನೀವೇನೋ ರಜಾ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಫೀಸ್ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಿ, ನನ್ನ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. And many youngsters, your parents might have scolded you so many times. ಸಣ್ಣ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಹಾರಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೂ 4 ಮಕ್ಕಳಾದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನ ಕಷ್ಟ ಏನು ಅಂತ. Yes, today we keep on, young people, they keep on talking about generation gap and all these things, parental pressure. My dad does like this, my mom like this, parents put pressure, this thing, that thing, this is my personal life, I don't have personal freedom. We keep on, complaining, and this very sad thing in our society, that children and parent relation is now becoming very delicate. Children are becoming autonomy, and children tell to the parent that it is my personal life. What kind of personal life children have with their parents? There, I'll change your diaper. What more personal life you can have with me? I know you everything, but still children want that autonomy. So the conflict starts happening. Why? Because we are not able to, as parents, we don't understand what is happening with the teenagers, and teenagers and adolescents don't understand what the parents are thinking. So because of this problem, the conflicts happen. When we develop this empathy, when I try to imagine ourselves, when we try to imagine ourselves in their position and see the world through eyes, then we'll understand what it hurts. As a medical profession, many of you have gone through this. There's something natural empathy is there. So that empathy becomes a very important aspect of emotional intelligence. It helps us to understand other people's emotions, and it helps us to manage this. And then our own assertive behavior. Assertive behavior is very much important, because I have to take care of myself. I am my own happiness, as I told you, because I should be, it is not being selfish. It is my well-beingness is my responsibility. So I have to be assertive with, I should be very clear about what I want and I don't want. People cannot force me to do something which I don't want to do. It's just like having food, when ಊಟ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಬೇಡ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿ ಅದನ್ನಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ when it comes to life, we should be very clear about what I want and what I don't want. If I don't know what I want in life, nobody can help me. So I have to invest energy and time to understand, and I have to be assert with my rights. It's my right. So to assess this assertive behavior, how assertive I am, you simply ask these questions to yourself. Do you ask for help if you need it? Well, the question may appear very simple, but I tell you, my friends, a lot of us, especially men, we take it, asking for help, we take it as our weakness. Husband and wife, you might have experienced this when you're driving through a strange place, and you are looking for, now the GPS has come. And in the earlier days, the GPS used to ask people to find an address. And the wife sitting next to you is saying, "Yargara kelri, ask somebody, yargara kelri." And the husband's, "No, I know, it's keep quiet, I know." Because asking help to someone, we think it is a weakness, it's something it takes away. Please ask for help. It is not your weakness. You are not supposed to know everything. So do you ask for help if you need it? Yes. That is a part of assertive. You have to accept, and you have to ask for help if you need it. It is not lowering your self-esteem. And do you express anger and annoyance appropriately? That word, find the word appropriately. Friends, getting angry is not a bad thing. Anger is a natural emotion which comes to hand. Anger itself is not going to harm anybody, but we should know how to express. If we don't properly express that anger, then the trouble will happen. And if you don't express anger also, the pent-up feeling will burn me from the inside. And sometimes we get blast on some innocent people. That again, the husband wife, you are having a problem in your workplace, and you come home and take it out on each other. And you say stress. And after 5 days in the corporate world, I'm seeing after 5 days of work, people get so tired, I need a break, man. अरे यार 5 दिन में थक गए यार, ऐसा कौन सी problem हो रही है? I need a break. They want to have break. No, running away is not a solution. We have to face it. And our annoyances, our angers, we should accept that it is a natural phenomenon. We should know how to express it, how to put it out properly without hurting other people's feelings. And next, do you ask questions when you are confused? Asking questions. Many of us, we don't ask questions. It has been throughout from our student life. Many teachers complain, ask questions. No. Any doubts? No doubts, sir. Kai cut by much. That is something we have been developed. We don't ask questions. Asking questions, we think that yaar thoda kuch mera level kam ho jayega. And do you volunteer your opinions when you think or feel differently from others? How comfortable you are expressing your feelings, which are not the feelings of the majority. So these are some set of questions. When we answer these questions, we'll understand what level of assertive behavior we are having. Another, do you speak up in the team fairly frequently when the discussion is there, brainstormer is there? Many people, they have to say something, but nobody will open up. If you don't open, then brainstorming will not happen. An assertive person doesn't feel bad to open up. So do you speak up in the team fairly frequently? And the most important, my dear friends, are you able to say no when you don't want to do something? Please develop the habit of saying no. Don't, force, don't, succumb to the force. Don't do certain things to just please others. So many of the, husband and wife I see in the marital problem, for children's sake, we are quiet. How long will be this thing? Pent-up feelings are going to explode. Compromise is not a solution. It is a lose-lose situation. Compromise is not a solution. We have to find solutions. And you should learn to say no. It's not that if it is tomorrow go to office and say that Anand has told, learn to say no, and your boss says some things, you cannot say, no, sir, I can't do. No, it's not that. You should understand what are your duties and what you are supposed to do. And something which you are not supposed to do, you should have that feelings to say no. And do you speak with generally confident manner? How confident you are? And do you look at people when you're talking to them? Especially this most important. When you're talking to somebody, please look at them. Don't talk to people looking somewhere else. Especially when you say thanks, when you say please, when you shake somebody's hands, please look into their eyes, look into their face. So it shows that you are a confident. People who suffer from inferiority complexity, they have problem in looking into other people's eyes. When you are confident, that loses. This is the assertive behavior. This is the assertive behavior. So what is assertive behavior is standing up for your rights. Yes. Standing up for your rights and not being taken advantage of is one of the definition of being assertive. Yes, we should not allow others to take us for a ride. For this, we are not supposed to do some fighting or quarreling. It also means communicating what you really want in a clear fashion, respecting your own rights and feeling and the rights and feelings of others. Yes. It's not only your right, you should also have that margin for the feelings of others and the rights of the others also. In that framework, we should have assertive behavior. Assertion is an honest and appropriate expression of one's feeling, opinions, and needs. This expression is not aimed to hurt somebody or downplay somebody or ridicule somebody or throw my weight upon somebody. It is honest expression by that's how when you're sitting on the dining table, that's how you say, I want this, I don't want this. You have to be sure about what you want. This is assertive. But what is not assertive, then it becomes aggressive. There's a difference between assertive and aggressive. Being aggressive means standing up for yourself in a ways that violate the rights of others. Just because you want to do this, you cannot violate others' right. We have to have right in the society. We have to respect the right of the people. If you do that, then it becomes an aggression, and it doesn't lead to well-beingness. Aggression behavior is typically punishing, hostile, blaming, and demanding. It can involve threats, name-calling, and even actual physical contact. It can also involve sarcasm, catty comments, gossip, and slip of the tongues, that what I mentioned earlier. And friends, this aggression, to show off that I'm a confident person, I'm a strong person, because of this aggressive behavior, a lot of relations fail. A lot of conflicts happen in workplace, and ultimately it leads to mental stress, and it leads to our physical health issues. Being assertive, we have to understand the difference between being assertive and being aggressive. See, aggressiveness is, showing authority or power on a weaker section is a symbol of inferiority. Please mind that. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೈಲಾಗದ ಗಂಡ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಗಂಡಸ್ತನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದಾವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಯಾರು ದುರ್ಬಲರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ವೀಕ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ವೀಕರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿ ಶೋ ಆಫ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ರೋಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ there is a ಟೀ ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ is there, and ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ರೋಪ, ಬೈಟು ಟೀ ತಗೊಂಬರೋ, ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂಬ, ಹಂಗ್ ಬಾ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬಾ, we just give orders. But when you go to a 5-star hotel, it becomes so humble. Excuse me, can I have a glass of water, please? Why can't we use the same tone with the street boy also? We have to learn to respect every person. The assertive people, they respect every person. But these aggressive people who are suffering from inferiority, they humble in front of the people who have got power, and they show their aggression on the weaker section. This is wrong. So being assertive is not being aggression. We need to understand. When you develop that assertive, lot of assertive feelings, when we stand up for our right, when you learn to say no, lot of the conflicts in our mind comes down. So most people are not assertive for fear of displeasing others and of not being liked. Now, I'll come to this in the next slide. Now, why this happens?
Can I interrupt, sir? 1 minute.
Please.
There is one. Can we take 1 or 2 questions have come up in between, or do you want to take them in the end? Whatever you say.
Yeah, please.
Sanjeev, you asked one question. Can you unmute
Yes.
and ask that? Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please come
I
on
am
video,
just-
sir. He can.
Hello.
Yep.
I'm just wanted to ask whether to be in arena in Johari window is really tough. It is
Of course.
easier said than done. Hello.
One more time, please.
To be in arena compartment in Johari window, it's really tough, really
Yeah.
difficult.
Yep.
It's easier said than done because all the time, anytime you try it, you again fall down and it's very difficult. I think you have
Sir,
to practice it a lot.
No, let us look it from a different perspective. Anything we start, to begin with, it appears difficult, but when we consciously practice it, it goes on, it becomes easier. See,
Yeah.
we have to develop transparent personalities. Initially we'll have some problems in understanding that. We'll be having that inhibition, yaar log kya samjhenge, what will happen, and we have humne ek fort banaya hai, and that fort will be invaded, and a lot of inhibition is there. So once, and with age, sir, I tell you, with age we have to practice some kind of detachment also. So when we open,
True. I agree.
but it is not going to happen in an overnight, and even whatever we are today, this has not happened overnight. It has accumulated. So we have to accumulate the positive forces now. Our effort should be towards that. If you think that is not possible, okay, nothing is, everything is difficult, sir. That's what I'm telling. Anything which is related to human mind, sir, it is so complex, na? There's no simple solution. So that's why I'm not talking about solutions. If you see, I'm explaining the structure. So we have to arrive at solution, because every person mind is different. Your mind is different. Mind, what solves my, fixes my problem need not fix your problem. But once I'm aware of these things, why this happens, when we become aware of these things, it becomes easy for us to develop. And so we have to do more practice in that, and we have to read more on that. That's why I was repeatedly telling, just I'm introducing you, I'm making aware you of, there's some structure is there now. Now we have to explore it. And I definitely agree, sir. It's not easy. And if you ask my wife, she has got a lot of complaints. It's better.
Thank you. Same here. That is why I'm saying.
To some extent, it is not to please others. No, once I get that, I won't be worried. That's what the Walt in the Bhagavad Gita say, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahanti Pavaka. When we reach that stage, log kya kehte hain, wo kya kehte hain, we are not affected, because I know, yaar, main ye hu. Main hu.
Yeah, true.
And you also know what kind of person I am. So
we have to practice daily. Yeah, we have to practice daily.
It happens slowly, sir. Nothing happens overnight, sir. It happens slowly.
True. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah. Anyone else has got any question? Otherwise, we move on to the next. Sir will continue.
Many shlokas are recited in Kannada, which I was not able to understand.
Yeah. Most of the time I'm doing it in English. I'm trying to translate it also.
Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Please bear with me for that.
Okay.
No, Dr. Pratika has given me that concession.
Okay.
Yeah, because we can have, in between, he's also speaking in Hindi.
Yeah,
Sanjeev,
yeah, yeah,
that is for you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. It's okay.
No, no,
Just,
I'm
Yeah,
fluent in all the three languages, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Anyone else has any query? Otherwise, we move on. You can continue, sir.
no, one thing is
Anybody else
that
has any query? Anyone else has any query?
no, even that also, at the last slide, I'll be leaving my contact number. You're free to
Sure, sure.
contact me
Yeah.
anytime. And you can discuss personal issues. Please don't discuss in this forum. Anything which you are not understood, you can ask me.
Correct.
And personal things, you are free to call me anytime. And my phone is
Yes.
open. Even in a classroom, I take the phone. Please don't worry
No
about that. So I'll be providing my phone number. Shall I
Sure,
continue,
sure.
ma'am?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Please continue.
I hope I am not very theoretical in my presentation.
No, no, no,
No.
not at all.
Because I'm talking about a lot of concepts, I'm not talking
Yes.
about illustration or I'm not giving examples.
Yes.
Because in the this thing, I would like to
Yeah.
people become aware about the concepts first. So once the
Correct.
concepts are understood, other things,
Yes.
we are all learned people and we can do our own further.
We can apply. Yes.
So coming to then what assertive will not do, that also we should know. Being assertive, it doesn't mean that all my problems will be solved. That's what Dr. Gupta was asking. Asserting yourself will not necessarily guarantee you happiness or fair treatment with others. There's a saying in English, what they say, when the bull is charging, at you, you cannot go and tell that, yeah, I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat beef and don't, hit me. The bull is not going to listen to you. It will kick you anyway. Just being being fair and good. Please don't expect that world is going to treat you fairly and as a good person. The people will behave what they are. But being good is my dharma. I have to be a good person. But don't expect that just because I'm good, we cannot expect that everybody will treat me fairly. No, being fair, it is a human value. Being fair, being human, being good is a human value. I have to do that. But it is not for some dividend. It's not that some people should give. Even interesting something, I was having an interaction with one of a very respected philosopher of contemporary in Karnataka. When Siddheshwar Swamiji was there, God bless his soul, he's no more. During an interaction, he used to say this, some people were telling that, Anand sir don't ask for money, he tries to do everything free. And nowadays, that standard dialogue is, if you give something free, there is no value for it. No, this is a standard thing we have been listening every now and then. People keep on telling, जो मुफ्त में देते हैं उसका कोई कीमत नहीं होती है. Free या ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೆಲೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Whatever you give, it is not valued. जो मुफ्त में देते हैं उसको कीमत नहीं होती है. Then Guruji said one thing, yeah. Whatever you give, if you expect some return from that, then it will not remain free. You may not be asking for money, but if you are in return to that, you are asking some recognition, some status, some respect, then again, it is not free. Giving free is your nature, you give, don't expect anything. But I'm not saying that we have to become sannyasis, that vairagya is not that. But being good is human nature. Being fair is human nature. Let us uphold those human values, because I have to be like this. Not that the world has to treat me fairly. The world will behave the way that it is behaving. The dog will chase you. You cannot, try to reason with the chasing dog. You have to find a way to escape from that. You cannot go preaching dog that I am a good person. No, dog will not listen to you. Similarly, asserting yourself will not necessarily guarantee you happiness or fair treatment of others, nor will it solve all your personal problems or guarantee that others will be assertive and not aggressive. People will be assertive. Just because you assert yourself does not mean you will always get what you want. Please note this. However, lack of assertiveness is dangerous. Having assertiveness आपको कोई फायदा तो नहीं हो सकता, लेकिन not having it is going to cause you a lot of problem. That's why you have to be assertive to avoid the problems. Lack of assertiveness is most certainly one of the reasons why conflicts occur in relationships. It is जो कहना चाहते हैं वो नहीं कहते. In a lot of the TV serials people watch nowadays, that year long that mega serials will be there. जिसको जो कहना है, अगर जिससे कहना है उसी दिन उसको कह दिया होता, 53 एपिसोड नहीं चलेगा, उससे पहले एपिसोड में खत्म हो जाती कहानी. दैट जिसको वो जानकारी होना है उसको वो नहीं बोलता, पूरी दुनिया को पता होता है, बट वी डोंट टेल. I go and tell all the world that I love my wife, but I don't sit in front of my wife and hold my hand and say, "Yeah, I love you." वो तो ज्यादा भाव खाता हूं मैं. So, you're understanding. So, lack conflicts क्यों होते हैं? Because we don't help our partners to understand clearly what I want. It is not that imposing myself on them. I'm explaining. See, imposing is different and explaining is different. So, expectations we have to be played on our card. These are my expectations. When we call it expectation, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि these are expectation, but they are not mandatory. This is what I expect in this relation. If it are met with, I am happy. If you are not met with, I know how to deal with these things. That is assertive. Just because being assertive, don't think that I've climbed the Everest. No. Being assertive, not being assertive, we cannot climb the Everest. That is the main thing. So for all this behind, and this is my favorite topic. I'm coming to the end of the session. This favorite thing is that one Albert Ellis. I was really this is what I use in my working with human behavior. He developed the theory called rational emotive behavior theory, REBT in short it is called. There is a famous saying, when it comes to the emotions, my dear friends, I think Greek philosopher says, men are disturbed not by the things, but the views they take of them. We are not disturbed by the events. We are not disturbed by the people behavior. We are not disturbed by the situation. We are disturbed by the opinion we create about that. That is the thing, what we say is that, seeing is, most of us, we say that seeing is believing. Whatever is see from bare eyes, we believe that. Seeing is believing. But when it comes to human mind, the other aspect is also very strong. It is believing is seeing. Whatever we believe is right, we see them as right. Manu to Ganga Mahu, na manu to Behta Pani hai. If I have got that belief, the Shraddha in our mind, that river, water is Ganga Devi. When I have got the Shraddha and that belief deeply inside my mind, I try to see Goddess Ganga in every drop of water. If I don't have the Shraddha, I don't have that belief, then I see in every drop of water 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen, H2O. Water is H2O or Ganga Devi. It is my perception. It depends upon me. We see the things as we are. लोग होंगे, सिचुएशन होंगे, दुनिया होगी, दुनिया जैसी है, लोग कैसे है, जನ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಗತ್ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಂಗ ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. The frame we have set up in our mind, the perception we have set up in mind, and based on that we become judgmental and we conclude. So we have to be very careful about the belief system we develop. We are not disturbed by the things happening around. That's the opinion. If in young age, I have seen children, school students and college students getting into love affair. Young age, they get into love affair based on infatuation and other influences. They think that they're deeply in love with each other, but at that age, they would not have learned the skill to handle relationships. And for small penny things, conflicts break out. And they break the relations because they don't know how to handle the conflicts, and they break up the relation, and then huduga kai kutta, hudigi kai kutta, in some extreme case they commit suicide also. Why? Because it's the perception. Just I lose a person, I rule the relation. There's the belief that the breakup is bad. So okay, when I have the breakup, tu nahi to aur sahi, aur nahi to koi aur sahi hai, mere naam pe koi aur hai, nahi illa andre innobru. If I have that perception, I don't feel bad when somebody ditches me. It is my feeling. People who have that kind of feeling, they move on with life. Those who have got that feeling, they get stuck there. Even in academic performance also. If I fail in one subject, then I think that मेरी दुनिया डूब गई, my life हाल गई, तो बर्बाद हो गया. And extreme cases, they commit suicide. Then when I go to them, my heart जोड़ के say, don't run away from life. Change your perception. It is everything is in our attitude, the way we look into the things. That's beautifully said in Kannada. दृष्टि बदलाದ್ರೆ सृष्टि बदलाಗ್ತದೆ. सोच बदलेगा तो लोक बदलेगा. दृष्टि बदलाದ್ರೆ सृष्टि बदलाಗ್ತದೆ. When the perception changes, we start seeing that. So everything is based on the kind of the beliefs, what we call as cognitive theory. This is cognitive therapies in the modern psychology. Most of the depression and all these cases are treated with this cognitive CBT, they call it cognitive behavior therapy, or REBT, rational emotive behavior therapy. So in Albert Ellis, he beautifully explains how these beliefs play in our role. See, suppose if I look at a person and says, if he's a good person, once the moment that feeling has come into my mind, and whatever he does is good for me. I just keep shut about his all this thing. And if I'm fan of Sachin Tendulkar, Sachin is, even he gets out at the first ball also, I still admire him because Sachin is Sachin, god of cricket. It is my feeling. It is my, mind you, it is my feeling. I have set that feeling in my mind. So once I have that I look through those glasses. We see the people as we are. That's what Gautam Buddha also says. Yat bhava tad bhava. What we think, we become that kind of person. If I think I'm a good person, I'll become a good. I think it's not possible, it's not possible. If we think that it's possible, it is possible. So it's all in our mindset. That's why I had narrated in the beginning the story of Houdini and George Dancing. It is the set of beliefs that when George Dancing was asked, how did you solve those two equations? Then he said, I saw a problem on the board, and as a mathematician, I thought that I should find a solution. It was his perception. If there is a problem, I have to find a solution. If that is my lookout, then I will work towards solution. I will not keep on complaining that, yeah, professor, I bouncer dal diya, I set up difficult. He has given me such a difficult question to me, and he's so he is eccentric. No, I keep on scolding him. But when my perception is that there's a problem, I have to find a solution. I become a different person. Same thing, Houdini. He thought that he can open any locks, but he never realized that a lock is it's not been locked. Had he thought in that, he would have opened it. So it is this belief system we've developed. They play a role. I'll give you a few examples of how these irrational beliefs play. See, one thing is that everybody has to love me. This is the most common thing, that it's okay. All we human beings like to be appreciated and loved by others, and people say good about me, and I feel very happy. But one thing is, my dear friends, we should understand that not everybody has to love me. How come it's possible? It's not. There are many people are today in webinar. It's not necessary that everybody should appreciate and like what I'm presenting. My performance is not based on what the thing is. There is some constructive feedback is there, I will correct it. But if somebody doesn't like the way I have presented, I'm not going to run away from this profession. No, it's not, because I know what I'm doing. I'm sure about what I'm doing. In some of the education institutions, schools, they invite me for the talk. I only go on invitations. I'm not on social media or give publicity for all those things. And when I go, the principal comes and tells me, sir, you have to tell these things to our student. You have to tell these two things. Then I said, sir, sorry. I have got certain things. What I feel, the present day generation know, I'm going to talk about that. If you like it, you call me. If you don't like it, sir, Jai Hind. I'm okay. So just because somebody do not like me, I don't consider that I'm not okay, but I'm an okay person. Maybe you did not like that. Not everybody should like me. Not everybody should love me. So I don't necessarily like, do I like everybody whom I know? No. And in your family, do you like all the members in the family? No. In your office, do you like all your team members? No. There are a couple of team members, a couple of your colleagues you may not like. You may not like. Similarly, there are few colleagues they may not like you. That's the way I don't like a couple of people. Couple of people also may not like me. It is okay, or I'm an okay person. And mind you, they are also okay person. Just because they don't like me, they are not my enemies. They are okay. Maybe their perception is different. I don't necessarily like everybody I know. So why should everybody else like me? I enjoy being liked, I enjoy being loved, but if somebody doesn't like me, I will still be an okay person and still feel like I'm an okay person. I cannot make somebody, I cannot force. No, from tomorrow we'll be like brothers, otherwise I'm going to break your head. No, I cannot force myself on you. Right? It's individual perceptions. I don't need approval all the time. But problem with is a lot of right from जब से होश संभाला है, right from childhood, नाक जना ये तिलकोता रहे, चार लोग क्या सोचेंगे, चार लोग क्या सोचेंगे, नाक जना ये तिलकोता रहे. I am also last 60 years I'm trying to find out where these four people are. नाक जना इन्हों सिक्किल ना ये चार लोग अभी तक नहीं मिला है. लास्ट सीन में आता है जैसे फिल्मों में पुलिस आते हैं ना, लास्ट में ऐसे चार लोग आते हैं उठाने के लिए. Like whole life we are worried about what people are going to think me, what people are thinking. And interestingly, that those four people are thinking that what you are thinking about that person. We are all busy about those things. It's okay. Being in a society, our behaviors and everything should be socially acceptable. Being socially acceptable is different and appreciated is different. As long as my behaviors are acceptable in the social norms, I'm an okay person. I need not justify that just because somebody doesn't like that what I'm doing is right. No, that's not that thing. Just because somebody doesn't like me doesn't mean that I'm not working. Similarly, sir, take my mother or my wife. There's certain things I don't like these things in my mother. or in my wife. I don't like the way they do certain things. Sir, but it doesn't mean that I don't love them. I love my mother. I respect my mother. I love my wife. But the certain things I don't like are helpless because nobody is perfect. Just because few things what my wife does I don't like, it doesn't mean that I don't love her and I should divorce her. No, uh, she's my wife. I love her. But certain things I don't like. Similarly, she may also not like certain things in me. It doesn't mean that she doesn't love me. She need not approve everything about me. So when we think in this way, the relations become easy to handle. I don't need approval all the time. If someone does not approve of me, I will still be okay person. That feeling of okay, it is not justifying whatever I'm doing is right. No, I'm not justifying that. Feeling that I'm a okay person, it gives me a mental balance. I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about good or bad, right or wrong. And interestingly, those who have studied psychology, they will understand. But those who are not aware about the concepts of psychology, one thing I would like to tell people is that in psychology, there is nothing called good behavior and bad behavior. Psychologists never define a good behavior, bad behavior. They call it as desirable behaviors and undesirable behaviors. Certain things are desirable, certain things are undesirable. Similarly, in medical world, in pharmacological application, they call it as disease. But in psychology, they don't call it as disease. They are disorders. They are not diseases. So there's nothing good or bad, but it gives me a sense that I'm a okay person. That sense protects me from other problems. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. I'm not justifying that whatever I do is right. No. What I'm saying is that the feeling of getting that I'm an okay person, and if I've done a mistake, I can correct myself. That's the next one. One should not make mistakes. अरे भाई गलती सबसे होती है. Every one of us we make mistake. It is okay to make mistake. People make mistake out of stupidity or people make mistake out of ignorance. Just because people have made mistake doesn't mean that they're bad people. Just because I have made a mistake, it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. I can correct my mistakes. Making mistake is something we all do, and I'm still a fine and worthwhile person when I make them. Thinking that one should not make mistake is irrational belief. What Albert Ellis calls this as rational beliefs and irrational beliefs. The irrational beliefs cause all the anxiety, depression, all the mental imbalances are caused because of irrational beliefs. So everybody should approve me. Demand for approval is an irrational belief. Rational is that. And similarly, no one should make mistake. It is an irrational belief. Everybody will make mistake. There is no reason for me to get upset when I make a mistake. I am trying. I am learning. And if I make mistake, I'm going to continue trying. And I'll try to correct my mistakes. I'll realize my mistake. And the best thing is that whenever we do mistake, stand coolly and accept, yes, I did a mistake. The moment we start justifying it and explaining about that, then mind gets defeated. We should accept that. No one is perfect. I'm also not perfect. I make mistakes. And similarly, people also make mistakes. So I'll accept. When we have this becomes an important leadership quality. So it becomes very easy to handle the team. Even some team member blunders also. The feeling is that don't worry about it. I'm there. If you have made a mistake, we'll help you to correct. But I'm not going to disown you. It's okay. This is one lesson I learned in army when I was an young budding officer. I was having a problem with one of my subordinate officer, and I was having difficulty in handling that person. And I went to my boss and told, sir, this fellow is causing a lot of problem. So I request you, sir, please transfer him to some other place. I don't want to. I requested him to transfer. And that day, the grooming in army is wonderful. The way they groom the young officers, the leadership qualities they induce, it's wonderful in army. And my boss told me one thing. He said, you are there to, I was a company commander. You are there to command a company, not to disband it. Whatever people are there, whatever team is there, they are there, your people. You have to handle them. If somebody has committed mistakes, you have got the power to discipline them. You have got the power to punish them. But you don't have authority to disown people. They are still your own people. So then, being a leader, when we start realizing, these are our own people. In the family also, these are my own family members. I cannot disown them just because they have done a mistake. I have to accept the moment that comes that we'll correct it, we'll discipline it. That's whatever is there, we'll take those proactive measures. But we cannot disown, we cannot treat those people as bad people. Still, they're okay. They're still okay people. So one should not make any mistake is an irrational feeling. Just because, the moment we say it is okay to make mistake, but We have the ability to correct it. Continuing doing the same mistake is not okay. Okay. We all learn from making mistakes. In Canada, that beautifully said again by DVG is that, everybody, if you look into, kaiyalli, kaalalli, there's some wound marks are there. Every wound mark in your body tells you a story that you took somewhere your judgment went wrong. So you suffered an injury. Right? We did a mistake. Every wound mark reminds you of a mistake. That's what DVG says. Edavade ಮೈ ಗಾಯವಡೆಯದೆಯ ಮಗುವಾರು ನಡೆಯಲು ಕಲಿತವನು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀತಿಗತಿಯಂತೂ ತಡವರಿಸಿ ಮುಗ್ಗರಿಸಿ ಬಿದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆದ್ದು ಮೈ ದಡವಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವರೆಲ್ಲ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. We all make mistakes, and it is okay. Just is okay. Even people make mistake, it is okay to make mistake. Nobody should make mistake, isn't irrational. It gives us stress. And next, other people are to be controlled. This controlling each other, it creates a lot of problem in workplace as well as in family also. The husband wants to control his wife and children. Wife wants to control her husband and children. So everybody is in a race to control each other. That becomes a problem. People who say things I don't like are not necessarily bad people. They should not necessarily be punished just because I don't like what they do or did. There is no reason why other people should be the way I want them to be. And there is no reason why I should be the way somebody else wants me to be. People will be whatever they want to be, and I will be whatever I want to be. I cannot control other people or change them. They are who they are. We all deserve basic respect. Yes, we are respect. Changing, a lot of marital conflicts happens because the husband and wife, they get into the tug of war to change each other. There's a joke in this thing, in again, I'd like to tell all the married people, I would like to tell, there's one more book called Men from Venus, and men are from Mars and women are from Venus. The male and female, we are not same. Women's psychology is different and men's psychology is different. We should understand the difference. Why wife thinks like that, why husband thinks like that. If we are able to appreciate that, there will be a lot of harmony in this thing. So because we are different. They said that when the boy sees the girl for the first time before marriage, when he meets her, sees her and sees that कहते हैं ना उसके एक हंसी में डूब जाता है. तो यार she's such a nice, such a soft spoken. Looking at her dimple, he says that मैं उसमें I will उसके जुल्फों के साये में पूरा जिंदगी निकाल दूंगा. And he loves her, he likes, and he thinks that she will be like that throughout the life. She will not change. So he marries her with that confidence that that girl is not going to change. लेकिन 6 साल में वो बदल जाती है. She will change. And the girl looks at the boy first time. She says, कैसा यार, कोई बात नहीं, इसको ये साल 2 साल में इसको ठीक कर दूंगी. I will change her. So she tries to change him, and that fellow never changes in his life. So the entire life they keep on fighting with each other to change each other and control each other. No, let us have the basic respect. The basic thing in relation is love and respect. When that is there, rest of the things we have the ability to adopt. And that's give and take will be there. So once we start controlling each other, the problem starts. Even in our workplace, wherever, when we start controlling other people, the natural human tendency is that they will resist it. But whereas when we are having to adopt to that situation and pursuing them, motivating them, inspiring them, then it takes a different mode. There are different ways of thinking. Rather than controlling, there are different things we do. So it is an irrational belief that I have to control every person. And think I should not allow things to go out of control. It is the same thing what I said. And there is no point in trying. No, I can. They can because they think they can. Even though I may be faced with difficult tasks, it is better to try than to avoid them. Problem avoidance is an irrational belief. Whenever problems are there, we have to make efforts to find solutions. And if at all worst scenario, we have to trust in our ability. We have got the human brain to adapt to different situations also. But escaping from problem is creating another problem. Avoiding a task does not give me any opportunities for success or joy, but trying does. वो कहते हैं ना, वादे अक्सर टूट जाते हैं, कोशिशें कामयाब हो जाते हैं. Trying, the कोशिशें अक्सर कामयाब होते हैं. Running away is not going to be. Things worth having are worth the effort. अगर वो करना है, तो चलो हम झेल लेते हैं. I might not be able to do everything, but I can do something. So, कोशिश करने में हर्ज नहीं होना चाहिए. There's no point in trying is an irrational feeling. And my day is decided fate. That fatalism is also irrational feeling. I am responsible for how I feel and what I do. Nobody can make me feel anything. If I have a rotten day, I am the one who allowed it to be that way. If I have a great day, I am the one who deserves credit for being positive. Pat your shoulder. Yes, you did a good thing. Pump the air. Feel, enjoy. I am the one who is in charge of my life. Don't there is no force outside us which is controlling us. Whatever is there, there's inside us. That's what in Advaita, that's what they say is that Atma Paramatma, everything is inside you. Aham Brahmasmi concept that Shadi Guru Shankaracharya says. And even in the Sharana thing, Basvana in Kannada, they say that, Kallu Devaru Devaralla, Mara Devaru Devaralla, Mannu Devaru Devaralla, Panchalohati Madida Devaru Devaralla, Kashi, Rameshwara, Rishikesha, Kedara, Muntada, Punnakshetragaliro Devaru Devaralla. ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನರಿಯೇ ತಾನಾರೆಂದು ತಿಳಿಯೇ ತಾನೇ ದೈವ ನೋಡ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. When we become aware about ourselves, this I am responsible. That's what I said. I am my own happiness. I am responsible. When we take the responsibility of life, is a rational thing. If something else outside me is controlling me, that is an irrational. Then definitely it gives us to this thing. That is, and if you think that somebody else is responsible for your happiness, it means that you are going to give nimjuta or talal kai kottanje. If your happiness lies in someone else's hand, you are in for a load of troubles. It's my responsibility to keep this person happy. इस आदमी को खुश रखने के लिए क्या क्या करना है, वो सब कुछ मुझे ही करना है. That's what I told. If I have to go to heaven, I have to die. जो कुछ भी achieve करना है, मुझे करना है. There's nothing miracle is going to happen. ಯಾವ ಪವಾಡ ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ. No fairy godfather or godmother is going to come, or no Prince Charming is going to come. Whatever is there, I have to decide. If something else is going to happen, it is an irrational feeling. So similarly, there are a set of so many irrational feelings. This one more thing, Nodi Swami, na virodha hege. मैं शुरू से ऐसा हूँ, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ. I'm like this only. See, this is an irrational feeling. Maybe I might have been like this. I can change. I don't have to be a certain way because of what has happened in the past. Every day is a new day. It's silly to think I can't help being the way I am. Of course I can. I can change. So when we keep our mind open towards the changes, so this life becomes easy, and my way is right. No, there are different ways to do the things. We have to respect every person. So these sets of irrational beliefs, when we develop that, convert them into rational thinking, a lot of emotional well-being is arrived at. So this is the emotive. So from the beginning, I have been explaining the genesis of emotions, how from intelligence the world shifted to emotional quotient. And what are the factors that influence our emotions, our beliefs, and the way we treat ourselves, then how we relate with others, empathy. So many factors I have explained you. I hope this will give a wide frame to understand how the emotion develops. Now, once we have understood all these concepts and made further studies on this, or attend further more trainings on these things, then we can start practicing how to one by one. It's not possible that everything can be done overnight. So taking this ahead, in 1996, World Health Organization, which was in 86 in Ottawa Declaration, they are thinking that personal skill development. In 1996, WHO further elaborated on it, and they published and it's thing they call as life skills. World Health Organization recognizes 10 sets of life skills. These 10 life ultimately to have that well-being, the emotional intelligence or emotional well-being, they revolve around these 10 skills. These are problem-solving skills, decision-making skills, as Dr. Pratibha in the beginning, she was mentioning, I have to take a lot of decisions. Yes, taking decision gives to stress. So we have to develop that skill to make decisions in life. We have to learn how to take decisions, and we should have how to stick with our decisions. And if there is necessary, we should be flexible to make midway corrections also. There's all these possibles. So we have to develop these decision-making skills. And for that help, our thinking should be strong. There are two sets of thinking. One is creative thinking. That's what we call as thinking out of the box, looking from different angles. And the critical thinking, that is whatever the data processing and analyzing and coming to a logical conclusion. Interestingly, these first four set of skills, what I have mentioned, this is WHO model. It's not that I have made this. It's the World Health Organization recommendation. These four skills, problem solving, decision making, creative and critical thinking. These are the main aspects of what in general the students undergo for admission to higher education or job recruitments, what they call as aptitude test or mental ability. These skills are tested, that whether this guy has got these skills or not. And then improve communication skills. We should know how to communicate. I generally take 3 days workshop on communication. Communication is not only about how we speak, how we talk, or body language. You all know that another important aspect of communication is, as I told earlier, all behaviors are communication. I should know how to behave myself, and moreover, the most important aspect, which helps us to develop the next skill, what we call as empathy, is the ability to listen. Lot of people, we are, my dear friends, I'm sorry to say that we are very poor listeners. We don't appreciate people. We don't acknowledge people. Even in social media, maybe in Facebook or WhatsApp, just to give a like, we think 10 times. We don't, be lavish on, people, and just give a thumbs up or something, give a like. It gives it doesn't mean that I agree with whatever they are saying, but it gives a message that I have heard what you said, I have seen, I have read what you said. That feeling, it gives us some satisfaction to us. Give that. Be a good listener. We have to develop the skill. Listening is a very important aspect in developing relations. A lot of conflicts happen because people don't listen properly. Just for an instance, I tell you, can you tell me, if you आदमी अपना सुख दुख किसके सामने ज्यादा बोलते हैं, ಜನ ತಮ್ಮ ಸುಖ ದುಃಖಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾರ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಬಹಳ ಜನ, lot of people say we express it to friends. Friends is number 2 answers. And some people, parents or teachers, and they're all number 2, 3, 4, 5 answers. The number 1 answer is, most of the people, the believers, they talk to God. They भगवान को याद करके भगवान के सामने सब बयान करते हैं. They keep on try to confess everything in front of the God. देवरे हंगायतु. We try to talk with the God. We prefer to talk to God. Why? Because God doesn't reply back. God just listens. So now know the power of listening. People love to talk to people who listen to them. If we would like to be appreciated and liked by others, be a good listener. Once I become a good listener, people will like us. So there's one part of communication. So then interpersonal relationship skills, that's most aspect, that is the important thing. As I had mentioned earlier, कोई भी जिंदगी में हादसा होता है, हम उसको सबर कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जब रिश्ता टूट जाता है ना, बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है. Behind every pain, there is a broken relation. We have to have this all family relations, personal relations, social relations, professional relationships. We have to invest a lot of time and energy in grooming and developing relations. And already have spoken in length about skill number 7.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಓಕೆ. ಎಲ್ಲದ ಎಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸ್?
Empathy. And the last 2 are
ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್.
Could you please mute that? So these are the 10 skills the World Health Organization has recommended. You know skills, you will know life. No skills, no life. So we have to develop those personal skills as per Ottawa Declaration. And when we start understanding our emotions and handling them, that defines our well-being. As Dr. Gupta was mentioning, it is not easy. I know, I can understand. Just I have given you a feel of that. But definitely it is possible if you practice. But don't give up. Don't give up just because it is not possible. Look at this bird. It is trying to, eat the frog. The frog has gone inside its mouth and still, उसको गर्दन पकड़ के कहती है, तो मैं भी नहीं छोड़ूंगा, कैसे खाओगी देख लेना, नानो बिड़ोदिಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ನುಂಗ್ತೀಯ ನುಂಗು. Don't ever give up in life. And if you need any further discussion, or you want to talk to me, please feel this is my number. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is my phone. This is my email address, and it's not that I can fix all my problem, but I can talk to you and we can exchange ideas. There are so many things I may learn from you also. I'm open for that, and I will appreciate.
Sir, one question is there.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Prash.
Actually, sir, you told about your some subordinate to whom you went to some higher officer and told that you remove him from that place. But sometimes in our team or in our family or in our friends, some toxic people will be there. So even all of the team members, they want to change. Actually, as you told, it should not be. So how to deal with such people? Suppose if whatever subordinate you told about, he was very toxic. In case of you, it might be you might try to discipline him, but every time it is not possible. So how to deal with it?
No, that's what I told, assertive behavior comes in the way, somebody is doing, see, something is a difference is there. Somebody is doing a wrong that needs to be taken action. You cannot accept that. That's what my boss had told me. You have got powers, you have got rules and regulation. Take action as per the rules and regulation. If you want to dismiss from the service, you can dismiss from the service. But don't disown them in the sense that don't transfer your headache to somebody else. The leadership is that you should know how to manage your resources. Within the resources, you have to deliver the result. In that context, I told you. But it doesn't mean that somebody is doing wrong. You should not bear them. You should not tolerate them. That is your assertive right. But family is something different. And the second thing is that empathy plays another important role. We should try to understand what is making that person to behave in that way. We have to go to that root problem, and if there's help is required, we have to help that person. We have to do some counseling, but shifting your headache to somebody else is not a solution. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Sometimes it will be very difficult if
One minute,
it will be difficult if the person is toxic and he is at the higher position.
Sir, I'm telling you, we will not discuss individual problems here. You have got my phone number, we can discuss on that.
Okay, sir.
The only thing is I want to clear the concept.
Right, sir.
Individual things, that we can be discussed, because because you will also not feel free to tell what all the person that is doing in front of other people. Right? So please feel free to call me and have one to talk.
Yeah, definitely. Sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. Patel. Yes, Dr. Pratibha, she has muted.
Yeah, actually, I had to go for a training. I came outside. Any more questions are there? I'm still managing on the.
I saw you.
Questions are there? Yes. I had to attend. I had to take the train tonight. So that's fine. No problem. Anybody else has any queries? Yeah, here I can sit. Yeah. Anybody else has? It was a very excellent session, Anand. It was excellent session, and I could see claps coming from the audience also now also. So we did have a very interesting session. Anybody has typed any questions? I think a wonderful session with examples. Bhaskar, you can unmute and ask this question. We can take that and then wind up. Bhaskar, can you ask this question?
It's nothing, madam. Just analyzing myself. What is happening inside our. We are matured enough to understand, but the only thing is not matured enough to correct ourselves.
But I think he has given this is oriented us towards that, to introspect. That's what sir said.
That's what. Right. It will take a lot of time to efforts from us.
And Mr. Bhaskar, I'll tell you one more thing. Certain things will remain with us,
Yeah.
And we have the ability to cope with that. But
we are not ourselves. If we change everything, it is not ourselves.
And as long as it is not going to hurt our well-being,
yes, sir.
Damage our well-beingness, then let us ignore it. It's not that we cannot be perfect. Come on, none of us can be perfect all the thing. But only thing, you should not cross that threshold. As long as that, as I told you, the psychologists are not been able to define what is normal and abnormal. The threshold is very delicate.
Really nicely, sir. Nicely explaining about Monkotimana Kakka. I was reading frequently. It is wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
So I think if there is possibility, if there's a possibility, we could extend this whole session and have another one full day workshop, which could be offline, if Anand agrees.
Yeah, offline I would prefer that. I will enjoy
offline. Yes. Offline we will have, because I could see the interest till the end they have stayed. Otherwise, generally, they one by one they stop dropping out in the end. But they have been there, and you have created a lot of interest. I cannot summarize, but then lot of things we could see the feedback coming in between also. Thank you so much, Anand. And already we are getting feedback. Wonderful session. Medical school needs a lot of these sessions. So people are typing already. And I think we can wind up at this stage.
Yeah,
And
please.
thank you so much. Thank you once again.
Sure, my
And
pleasure.
I'm sorry I had to leave the place
No, I
and
understand. I understand.
continue on my this
I'm
one.
really thankful that you have given me this opportunity.
Yes, very, very masker also. Yes, everybody has given a very good feedback. First time we are getting so many positive responses. Thank you so much, Anand.
God bless
Thank
all.
you. Thank
Jai
you,
Hind.
participants, for being with us and taking so much interest. And I hope it will be implementable for us in our own way, in your personal as well as professional front. All the best. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Good night, all of you. Good night.
Jai Hind. Mm.